Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am showing you guys how I did these French curl knotless braids, small, bohoed out. I'm showing you guys me prepping the hair. I literally just took the bundle out, cut it where the rubber band is held, and then I put it on my rack. Here I am showing you guys how I do the actual braid. She's really getting a bob, but I just wanted to show you guys like the entire process. I didn't cut the hair extra small, but as you braid in pieces, you see, like I did, I left one of the pieces up to create the boho look from the root. And I'm just showing you guys how I feed in this hair. This hair was very easy to manage. It wasn't really any tangles. I've done this style before with French curl braids, but I use a different type of hair. But I can say that this Bobby Boss hair was very easy. It did not tangle. It just really just did its thing. And the way that I'm doing this hairstyle is I'm just braiding probably like 2 inches past her hair, her natural hair. And then I'm going to tie it off with a knot. So that way it can give like the zillion illusion look where it's more curly hair at the end than it is of like an actual braid. So I would say like a boho because she is getting a bob, a long bob because her natural hair has grown out so much. I really wish that I had the beginning process of my client like growing her hair out because when I tell you it has grown completely out and she's pretty much past like a short bob. So we're doing like a long bob. But if you want to do it in this way, you just want to make sure that you braid past your client's hair when doing this hairstyle if you want more curly hair. So if your client hair is mid back length, you want to braid 2 to 3 inches past that and then let the rest be curly. And you also want to leave this bundle of hair long so that way, and you'll probably have to feed in a lot more because the hair is probably about a mid-length length. But with her, she wants it in a bob, so it made it a lot easier considering her hair is just like a longer bob. It probably would have went a little bit faster with someone who had shorter hair because then I wouldn't have to braid as far down. But she's on a hair growth journey. She really loves her hair, and I love that for her. So we're just braiding in past her hair. And you see, as I take a piece of that braiding hair out, I add in a piece because it takes the fullness of the braid and makes it a little bit more slender than I would like. But as you add in boho hair, and you can make this as boho as you want. Some people like to do a light boho. Some people like to do a full heavy set of boho. This is really up to you, hence on the amount you want to leave out as far as boho. But you see, I just tie a knot at the end. I do it 3 times, sometimes 4, because this hair is a little kinky curl. It's not as slippery as some other brands of French curl hair. So 3 times is good, but if it was more of a slip, I would probably do at least 4 or 5, or you can also do the other method that I showed when I did French curl before that I will have linked at the bottom of just all the different ways you can tie off French curl braids. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you are liking this content. I'm trying to really get a good flow 2026 of just getting these hairstyles out there for you guys. I will be running this hairstyle back in a Fulani tribal hairstyle, so be on the lookout for that. I have done French curl flip over method, um, like flip over Fulani in the past, and you can go check out that tutorial. But I just wanted to show you guys how I do the knotless braid when it comes to the size of being small and even just having more of the curly hair standing outward and being more of the show of the hairstyle. So that is what I am showing you right here. Normally when I do boho, the first 2 rows, I do not take out boho pieces because that is usually the part that is rubbing. But since I am going to be cutting this into a bob and then cutting a lot of the boho pieces shorter than the actual hair, which you'll see at the end, I just decided to do the whole complete head of just boho. And we're kind of doing like a thick, heavy look of boho. So yeah, that's why I'm doing it this way. But you see, I'm just adding in pieces. And you want to make sure on your rack, you want those pieces to be small like I showed you guys. And just make sure you just braid all the way down. And you want to also think about the density of your client's hair. If your client has thick hair, you do not have to add in that many small pieces. And that's pretty much how I do my knotless braids, because usually in the crown of your client's hair, it is thicker around the perimeter. It is much finer. But for her, in her case, she had a standard thickness of density in her hair, so it worked out just fine. But you really want to pay attention to that when you're doing knotless in general. Some people want to say, I count the pieces of knotless pieces you want to put in, and it's like, no, you don't count the pieces. You go by the thickness and the density of your client's hair. So that is what I am doing right here. And here is a more close-up. I'm going to also slow it down right here for you guys to really see how I did the braid. So since I am at her more of a thinner part, or not as long and thick yet, I am adding in pieces right away. In certain parts, I don't add it as soon. I might braid a couple times and then braid it down, but I add in right away. Just to create the builder braid of this braid. And then once I get to the thickness, which I am at right now, you see I left that boho piece out, and then I'm going to feed in another piece because that would have helped with the thickness. But since I left it out and we are creating the boho look, I am just still building the braid, and you're going to see me grab and add more right here to just really create that boho look. Once I got more to like the third row, I really started adding in a lot of pieces. I want to say I added in about 3 or 4 boho pieces every other braid. And then on the other braids that wasn't every other braid, I added at least 2. And that is how I created this look. And if you need me to explain it a little bit more, just comment below if you want a very like detailed video of just like when to add. But again, you go by your client's density of their hair. So right here is 3 pieces, and I went a little past her hair. I didn't have to go past much because that braid in particular that I just did, hair wasn't as long as you see this braid that I'm braiding in right now. You see how much longer her hair is right here. So I'm going to braid a little further down past that part, because when my client takes her hair down, she's just going to cut right at the knot, which is where I sealed her hair. That's where she's going to cut. And again, you want to make sure you braid 2 to 3 inches past your client's hair, just to really ensure that they do not cut their hair when they take the style down. And it'll just, after that, unravel, and you could take it down as normal as possible. This hairstyle should last about 3 weeks. 4 weeks, I always recommend, especially with the boho pieces. If you guys want to know how long this hair lasts, I'll do another tutorial, and then I'll show you guys week by week how the hair looks. Just let me know in the comments below. But yes, I always recommend at least 4 weeks max, 4.5 weeks max of wearing just any type of braid style. And then you want to take them out and wash your hair. You do want to make sure that you moisturize your hair as you are wearing them. But yeah, I would say about a month, maybe a month and a half, a month and 2 weeks. So yeah, I don't want my clients to keep their hair in too long, but I recommend 4 weeks for sure. Because what people don't tell you is that once your hair grows out, the braid becomes an anchor, and it really weighs your hair down, and it can cause a lot of breakage, especially if you are not moisturizing your hair. Of course, when you shower or bathing, you want to make sure you wear a shower cap. And the way that I recommended for her to sleep with this hairstyle is to simply just do like a couple sections of just 2-strand twists, like twisting the hair together, and then just putting a headscarf right on top of her head, and then go on to sleep. And that's pretty much how you do the night routine for this type of hairstyle when it's in a short length. If you keep it long, just do a high pony, like a high top knot, but you can also twist it as well when you do that. And you can also flexi rod this if you want to, like do sections, 2-strand twisting it together, and then doing a flexi rod to hold it in place, and then putting a scarf or a bonnet on it. As far as swimming, I don't really know. I haven't had French curl braids myself, but I'm assuming it's just like any other knotless braids. You can do a light finger brush. I would not say pull against this hair, because you can really like knock the curls out, but this is how it turned out. If you want to see more up close pictures, just head over to my Instagram and my Facebook, and I got you guys covered. But here are some other tutorials you guys can check out of French curl braids and my latest hairstyle. See you in the next one. Peace and hair grease. Bye.